What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am Aftersound, and we bring you Splinterlands content every single day. So thank you for being here. We also stream over on Twitch at This Is Aftersound every day. So come by. We do giveaways every stream, as well as giveaways every week here. If you leave a comment, make sure to leave your in-game username, and I pick my favorite comments at the end of the week. All right, so this video is super late because there's apparently going to be another AMA this upcoming Friday, and I'm recording this on a Wednesday for the AMA last Friday on October 15th. But I wanted to give you my 5 takeaways just because I had a chance. I was listening to part of it live, and then, Friday and Saturday, I actually listened to the whole thing again. And there's just so many interesting things in there. Now, if you are an investor in this game, and I say that literally to everybody, because you are either investing your time or your money, or for most people, probably a little bit of both. Then I highly recommend you give it a listen. You can put it on like 2-speed or something, or 2x or 1.5x, whatever YouTube will allow. And it's just got a lot of really interesting information. It's really cool to see the passion that the team has and a lot of the tentative ideas that they have moving forward, right? So I'm not going to get into all like the nitty gritty details. There were 5 things that I thought were really interesting. This isn't a recap. There's definitely good recap videos out there, or recap articles on Splinter Talk and Peak D. So check those out. This is just the stuff that interests me. So hopefully it's shining a light on things that maybe others are glossing over, right? So let's go ahead. I made a visual like I always do, just for something that you guys can read along with. So the first thing, the starter deck was confirmed. We are going to have commons and rares from Untamed and Chaos Legion. So right now, we already have the commons and rares from Untamed, and we also are using the beta commons. So those are going away, beta commons and rares. So those will be going away, and we're going to get all of the Chaos Legion commons and rares. And so that actually has me thinking about if I want to grab any beta cards before they go out, before they leave the starter deck. Granted, if you've been following this channel, my main focus is on modern format. I just feel like I'm going to be most competitive there in the long run, at least until I start building up a solid deck. And as time goes forward, and more expansions are released and modern format evolves, modern format is where I'm going to stay. But I do believe there are some beta cards that are undervalued, and I think I'm going to do a video on the ones that I'm keeping an eye on, just because. Again, I'm not looking only at this as a player, but as an investor, and I feel like since people are playing with these cards on a regular basis, they never think to buy one, right? Or at least that's the case for me. And now that we know, and we kind of always knew that beta was going to be leaving, but now that I'm going to be parted with these cards that I've played with so much, a part of me is looking at like, okay, which are the ones that like I know that I would use if I were to have, if I were to hop into either wild format for fun, or maybe just hop into a tournament, right? A wild format tournament. And sorry, I realized that I can't spell. I don't know why I put commons rather than commons. All right, so started deck confirmed. That's exciting. And we don't know what the other half of that is going to look like. We already know about Untamed, but we don't know the other half of Chaos Legion. So that will be the exciting part to come. Number 2, vouchers. I wrote the note here, vouchers as a token, right? So a couple things. First, Agro is talking about renaming vouchers to time crystals potentially, or just finding a better name than vouchers. And the way that he talks about it, and the way that it seems like this will be utilized in the future, is vouchers are really just going to be a third token associated with this game. Now, it's already confusing to many folks who come in and see, all right, there is an in-game currency, DEC, as well as a governance token, SPS. And now they're going to introduce a third token on top of that you can only get, right? That you can only get through airdrops of how much SPS you're staking. Now, because we live in a free market and Hive Engine exists, or Tribal Decks, or whatever the case, actually, I think it's just Hive Engine right now, there is a price set on these vouchers, right? and in the future they might be called time crystals. But there is a price set on these new tokens that are only issued, right, through the amount of SPS staked. So that is a very interesting kind of tokenomics behind what this token will potentially be in the future. Again, it goes to show just how valuable SPS is and why you should be staking SPS, because not only are you getting that return from SPS, but now you are being airdropped a new token that has value. And I don't know if and when the vouchers are going to stop. If anything, the way that the attitude is towards vouchers is that they're going to be utilized for many things in the future, potentially for Rift Watchers when it comes out, potentially for, and Agrid was just kind of like speculating and speaking to these. So there's nothing confirmed, but he likes the vouchers. And it seems like the team is really proud of this voucher kind of tokenomics that they've put in place to help govern and reward older players, as well as give newer players a chance to buy in, right? Like, granted, you're buying in at a premium and you're trying to get into these pre-sales and things like that, but this is what I love about the vouchers, right? And a lot of people are complaining about it. The team could have sold all 15 million packs on day one and walked away with $60 million, right? 15 million times $4. Well, I'm not thinking about any pre-sale or discounts and stuff like that. My whole point is that they've said this, they are pushing off the revenue that they could have earned. They could have had $60 million in their pocket today, but instead they're pushing that off and doing it over a shorter period of time, right? Now, you could look at that and say, that's kind of silly. Why would they do that? Because if they had $60 million today, they could scale up, right? That's one argument that I could see for the other side. But most people are just kind of arguing and saying that vouchers are a way to, let the rich get richer and things like that. And I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole. The thing is, at the end of the day, people put money into this game, right? They invested from an early standpoint or from early on. And there was a lot of risk involved because you had no idea. And now we have some data that's come through. We have some years of experience. There's this team that is just growing and really releasing some phenomenal things. So the risk gets less and less, right? You could come in right now and buy as much SPS as you want, and it's a free market in that sense. So what they are doing, and I love the fact that, Agro kind of explained this in the AMA and then I think shortly afterwards on Discord as well, is like they're literally transferring the value and giving it to reward the early players, right? Not early players, but early investors, people who have SPS, people who took a chance on them. And so I don't think that's something worth being upset about. And I understand if you're a new player, you want to come in and dominate right away and get to gold, and it's too expensive and you can't get all these things. Look, that's the nature of these games. Go play Magic the Gathering. I've never played Hearthstone, but go play Magic the Gathering. And how much money are you going to spend trying to buy those cards, right? Or any other NFT type game like this. So I have no problem with them rewarding the people who took a chance early on, or the people who come in and have the money to buy a bunch of SPS when SPS is up 4x in the past month, right? So at the end of the day, this is not just a game, it's also an investment. And the people who have more money are going to make more money. That's just how it goes. If you buy one share of Apple stock, you're going to get X amount of cents, whatever it is. The one, I don't even know what their thing is now. But if you buy one share of Apple stock versus buying 1,000 shares of Apple stock, you're going to be getting a ton more in terms of dividends that you can then reinvest into more Apple stock, right? So that's literally just how the market works. So I understand the frustration, but I think people just need to change their perspectives, or at least understand what the other perspective is and how the team is trying to make sure that they are rewarding the people who took a chance on them in the beginning. I can never fault them for that. And I think the vouchers are a great way to offer a solution where the people at the beginning don't just have this option to buy into the pre-sale no matter what. Now they can sell it, and the market is determining the value because there are other players out there who don't have the SPS token staked or can't afford SPS tokens or didn't buy them at the time, and they just want to buy the vouchers. And they are determining in a free market what the value of these vouchers are. So I don't think these vouchers are going away. I think that they are going to be utilized and used for a long time to come. I don't think the team would go through the effort of issuing them as a new token. So just another thing for me, I don't know. I ran out of things to say there. Just another bullet point or another reason for me to be staking as much SPS as possible, because it's not only getting me more in-game, returns with the staking, but there's also this voucher airdrop that I don't believe is going away anytime soon. The nature of vouchers may change over time, and the ability to buy into the pre-sale might change in terms of if they make it fractionalized, right? Maybe you only need half a voucher halfway through once they hit like 7-8 million packs sold. But again, they don't have that. They don't have that listed out there. And if there's one criticism I can give, just as constructive criticism, which Bulldog actually mentioned, and I agreed with him, because there is. I wish the voucher white paper had been released before the vouchers had come out, because right now we don't know how to appropriately price this. We do, in the sense that there is a pre-sale coming up, and you know what the vouchers are going to give you right now. But damn, if these vouchers are going to be like utilized in so many different ways for Rift Watchers, and then the upcoming Rebellion, this is going to be the next major expansion. If they're going to be utilized in that way, maybe I never sell a voucher, right? Maybe I just keep on stacking vouchers, because I know that in the long run, they're going to hold their value and allow me to get more and more things, right? So that's the only thing. And hopefully, they've been talking about releasing the white paper on the voucher. So hopefully that comes out soon. And when it does, you can bet I'll be doing a deep dive into it. Okay, number 3, Rift Watchers DEC burn. So I did not know this about Asmari Dice, which was the most recent mini edition, right? So they have core editions, which include, beta, then Untamed, and upcoming Chaos Legion. But there have also been these mini editions, right? And I think Promo was one of them, followed by Asmari Dice, and then upcoming Rift Watchers, which will be sometime next year after Chaos Legion is out. What's crazy to me to learn, at least with what happened with Asmari Dice and what will be happening with Rift Watchers, is the company is making $0 from this. The company is putting time, energy, effort, paying developers, marketers, artists to come up with these cards, right? And creatives, whatever the case is, like they're paying people to come up with these cards, and they get $0 in revenue from it. That blew my mind. So where does the money for Rift Watchers go? You can only pay in DEC, and the DEC is then burned, right? And for those of you who missed it, I did a deep dive into DEC tokenomics and why I believe it is gonna crash, right? And I'm trying not to be overly dramatic here, but I just feel like there is so much DEC being issued right now because the price is so far off of its peg that once the airdrop ends, DEC is going to be far below its peg, because there will be no desire for it, right? No demand for it, because the airdrop will no longer exist. It'll just be an in-game currency. And on top of that, there'll just be so much in the market. So how does that get removed? Well, it gets removed whenever people pay for things with guilds, or if you pay for things in game with DEC. Not purchasing cards, because that goes to other people. But if you purchase, I believe, potions, if you purchase anything within the guild, all that stuff, DEC gets burned there. And now with the upcoming mini edition Rift Watchers, the DEC is just going to get burned. So the development team behind Splinterlands, the company, gets $0 in revenue. That blew my mind. I think that is incredibly selfless of them. Or, I mean, look, at the end of the day, what are they getting out of this? They're getting more people into their ecosystem. They are creating more value, right? Now, the value isn't coming to them directly in terms of going straight into their pockets. But I think that this is a phenomenal way to regulate the price of DEC, because as Agrod said, unless something is broken and being exploited, they're not going to change anything. So everybody who keeps coming on the comments and throwing shade at me saying that I'm bearish on DEC, I mean, I'm just repeating what is happening or what the team is saying. They are not going to take it off of its peg. It is built like that, and it is not being exploited. It has a higher value now because of the airdrop, but outside of that, it's not being exploited by bots, by people, whatever the case is. Everybody's just stacking DEC to get the airdrop. And right now it's still valuable because that airdrop lasts for another, 9 months at this point. But at some point it won't be. And at that point, DEC is going to fall. And I think it's going to fall dramatically. So again, I'm not saying it's going to happen soon, but something to keep in mind, and why, if you've been on this channel, you know I am doing everything I can to flip out of DEC back into cards, into SPS, and now into vouchers since I have some extra DEC. So I do believe at some point DEC will regulate itself appropriately, right, once the airdrop is done, and really just be a pegged in-game currency that is used in only that manner. Awesome. Okay, so number 4, and these next two ones are a little bit on the lighter side. So number 4, Agro mentioned that there is potentially a comic book in the works, because people have been asking about, you know, when's there going to be a Netflix series and all this stuff. And in a previous AMA, Agro mentioned like how Pokemon through the cartoon just became this worldwide phenomenon, right? And so I don't know if Netflix is necessarily in the works yet, and of course, if it is, they probably aren't revealing that. But he did mention a comic book and that they are exploring that, which again would be super cool, because the IP behind this is very, very valuable, and it's not being utilized to its biggest, just not being utilized to its maximum potential right now. So I love that idea. To be honest, I'm not actually like a physical comic book reader. I never was. I do enjoy comic book fiction, right? And all of the, you know, Marvel and DC stuff that's come out, or even some of the smaller things here and there when it's on the big screen or small screen, however you view it. But I don't know. Part of me is like, I might just buy a comic book. Why not? Just to support Splinterlands and the company, and to you know, help spread the good word. So hopefully that comes to pass. I just thought that was something interesting and wanted to share. And lastly, you know, I didn't want to do like a trailer reaction here. I watched it immediately as soon as they mentioned it. And the only thing that I'm trying to put here is that Agrod said he does not ask for many things, but he's asking for us to share this trailer. So if you haven't tweeted it or posted it anywhere, or at least just go watch it and leave a comment on YouTube or something, just to help with the algorithm, leave a like there, just to help them kind of spread the good word. We want more players coming into this game. We want this ecosystem to grow, because what's beautiful about it is that network effects help everybody, right? Every new person that comes in helps the network grow, helps raise the value of the network. And you better believe that games built on top of a blockchain, actually, and games even that are not built on a blockchain, like network effects are a real thing. Like think about Fortnite, right? The other game that I stream somewhat often. If there was only 5 people playing, that would kind of suck. But if there are 5 million, then every time you go in, there are people to play with, right? So as this game continues to grow, then more value can be input and more value can be extracted from it. So share that trailer. And you know, that's not for me. That's for the team. So if you're loving this game, make sure you go ahead and do that. So that's all I have for my 5 biggest takeaways so far from, not so far, but 5 biggest takeaways from the most recent AMA. I'm excited for the next one coming up. That last one was before this pre-sale started, so there might be a lot of questions about voucher pricing and things like that, or maybe some more information about what vouchers, aka time crystals, can potentially do in the future. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I don't know what time it is. He usually does between like 9 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m. for the Eastern for the AMAs every Friday, and he likes to switch them around, but I don't remember what this next week is going to be. So that's all I got for you guys. If you find this content valuable and helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. It's a free and easy way to support the channel. And for those of you who leave your in-game username in the comments section, like I said, I go through, pick out my favorite ones that really provide the most value and ask me engaging questions or challenge me in a constructive and respectful way. I usually send you guys a little something in the weekly Q&A videos. So other than that, I will catch you guys in the next video, and I will see you around the game. Have a good one.